Goabaone Taylor took up the reins as the Botswana Football Association CEO in April and admits there is plenty of work to do to change the culture and the fortunes of the organization. She spoke to us about her experience and plans for the future. First of all, congratulations on your appointment. If you could just tell us a little bit more about your background. I know you come with extensive experience from the corporate world.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak with you today. My background really started in telecommunication on the wholesale part of the business, where I was dealing mainly with inter-operator relationships that the corporation had with local as well as international service providers. I grew into that role to end up being a roaming manager, and when the operation opened a mobile section of the business, and grew again into that role when it was now being merged to combine the fixed and mobile business side of the business. And I did a lot more now dealing with commercial contracts relating to roaming as well as interconnect. Over time, I then moved into broadcasting, where I worked for a company, Econet Media, which was trying to set up a pay TV and a free-to-air channel in Botswana. I think they were spreading across Africa, actually. So Botswana was one of those markets that Econet Media entered. I was the country manager there, responsible primarily for promotion and PR of the brand, as well as the content on the Econet Media platforms. I did that job for about 2.5 years, but unfortunately the business wound down, and we had to, I think it's now at liquidation as we speak. So for me, really, I see myself as a sort of commercially driven person. I always seek opportunities that touch on commercial roles and responsibilities, in that my experience with Econet Media as well as with Botswana Telecommunications has helped me to sort of grow my skills in managing relationships, in putting together negotiations principles, in putting together commercial contracts that we will then use to manage those relationships in terms of generating value for the businesses. So when I looked at the BFA, really, the opportunity was that to some extent, and say for the fact that BFA is more on a one is an association, is not a corporate like where I've been, but the need for the function, I think they are more or less the same with what I have done and the skills that I have been able to obtain in my career, in that Botswana football, as well as any football across the world, is looking to commercialize. It's looking to apply best practice of running, of operating the FAs. And having had that exposure helped me quite a lot to say that, I think I can be able to support the BFA and its vision of being an organization of excellence and of commercializing the business of football.
Yeah, and in many ways, you're a pioneer as the first woman to hold this position at the BFA. I think I'm correct in saying that. Are you kind of hopeful that this will open doors for others?
I'm hopeful that it will open doors for others, because I think traditionally we look at football especially as a sport for men. But you can see that a lot has been done to even try and bring on board the women in terms of promoting the football for women. So I'm hoping that, people start to look at football differently and know that we can have women also playing a role in the development and promotion of football.
It's maybe a little unfair of a question, because I think you've only been in the role about a month or so, but what have you identified as your sort of key short-term goals over the next, say, 6 to 12 months?
It's been a month, but it feels like it's been more than a month, because I've been able to interact with my team, first with the senior managers and then with the entire team at BFA. I was able to also interact with some of the players, like the women's football and the coaches, the players as well as the coaches of the women's football. And I'm still on that journey to try and engage with all the stakeholders with the intention of identifying issues, challenges, and opportunities for growth, because this is where my plan, what is going to be built into my plan for the year and for possibly for the entire period while I'll be here. But I have been able to do quite a lot in that. I discussed my 100-day plan with the president of BFA, Mr. McLean Mitriti, and he has okayed it in that the first focus for me is going to be on the people aspect, the people management aspect of the FA, because for us to execute any strategy that we're going to come up up with. The people need to be involved. They need to have their buy-in and their energies and motivation to want to take on the challenges that I'll be putting together for us to tackle. So I would like to, I'm working a lot more on addressing the people issues, be it staff welfare, be it just even motivation. Like last week, we started some counseling, sort of not group therapy, let me put it that way, where it's generally just to, we are going through change as an association. And it's just to bring along the team to know that, yes, there's change coming. You've got a new leader and there's so much else that is going to be coming. The culture is going to come to change over time. So it's just to go through that mental readiness as the workers of the BFA. And obviously then the other growth areas that I'm already starting to work on is building the reputation of the association so that in the short term, on the medium term, we can be able to start driving revenue generating activities. So for me, working on building the trust and the motivation of the team is quite important for me to ensure that we can be able to support the long-term plan.
Of course, it's an issue the world over, but COVID-19 has had a massive impact on the corporate world. It's had a massive impact on football. Where is BFA with dealing with that at the moment?
BFA has done quite a lot in terms of getting ready to return to play. This is something I think that I started about a year ago, maybe. I think as soon as COVID, the reality was that COVID was impacting on businesses. BFA started on that work to put together a plan of returning safely to play, and we're able to present this to our stakeholders last week, where we want to we have put down guidelines of how we will ensure the safety of the players, and later on when it's opened for the audiences, how we are going to ensure the safety of the audiences in our stadiums. So there's quite a lot that's been done. What we do even now when our teams are in camp, because we've been having camp and having participating in some of the competitions that have been out there. So what we do is we test our teams whenever they're in camp. We create that bubble where they can be able to live within for the duration of the camp to minimize the impact of COVID. And I can say that I think about last month actually, our women's football was in South Africa, and because of that program of making sure that we create a bubble in the camp, we're able to quickly. We had I think a few cases where some of our players came out positive, but we're able to quickly isolate and still proceed with playing on that friendly that we had with South Africa.
It's going to be a busy second half of the year, we hope, for COSAFA with tournaments in under 17, under 20, senior tournaments across both genders, as well as new tournaments such as futsal and beach soccer. Obviously, we have to see COVID willing how things roll out. But should we expect to hopefully see Botswana national teams competing heavily across as many tournaments as possible?
Yes, it is really in our interest to try and have all of our teams participating in any and every competition that comes along. And whenever an opportunity comes up, we quickly address it to ensure that we can partake in that. You'll see that we have been able to get our women into the championship that is coming in, which is planned for June or August, and we are in the process of considering hosting that competition here. Hopefully, we'll be given the green light by our parent ministry, because we need to work with the government. But the intention for us is to get our players out there, give them as much exposure in terms of participating in competitions, as well as in terms of also participating in as many friendlies, so that they can continue to grow their skill.
Yeah, just lastly from me, I know Botswana has been a fabulous host to COSAFA tournaments over many years, and it's always a wonderful country to visit. I do understand that there are talks around that Women's Champions League potentially being hosted in Botswana. Just what would that mean for you as an association to host this historic inaugural competition?
It means a lot. Let me say, first, for me to be within my first year hosting such a tournament, I think it will be very big for BFA. It will also help us to improve our image and our reputation as an association that's capable of handling competitions of that magnitude and even bigger ones when they come. So it's something that we are really working hard to try and build on that legacy that we know we will be able to leave behind.
That's it for another episode of the COSAFA show. The postponement of the start of the group stages of the World Cup qualifiers to September has given Hugo Bruce and the other coaches in the COSAFA region extra time to prepare for what will be a helter-skelter race to the World Cup finals in Qatar. We'll be tracking their progress in the coming months as we also look forward to the COSAFA Cup in July.
Don't forget you can listen to more of our podcasts on Soccer Laduma Radio, COSAFA.tv, Spotify, and iTunes. And you can also get the latest news via our website at www.cosafa.com and on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Goodbye.